Hello, I'm Sarah, aka Celiac Sarah Explores, and I am so glad you're here. I can't wait to talk about a bunch of gluten-free lifestyle and travel tips and tricks, but before we get into all of that, I wanted to introduce myself. So a little bit of background about who I am. I was diagnosed with celiac disease in 2021, which is an autoimmune disease where I cannot process gluten and I have an autoimmune response, so I have to follow a strict gluten-free diet. Thankfully, I've learned a lot over the past year and a half.
That was get you with the sneaky spice.
But in those early days, it was definitely a struggle, and I really was worried about how to incorporate travel into my life because it was and is such a priority. Thankfully, I did not let it hold me back. Within 3 months of getting diagnosed, I visited my first international country, Spain. We went to Barcelona for 5 days, and it was a really magical experience. I can't wait to tell you more about it later. And then a few months later, we were in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and we were sitting at a restaurant, and I was trying to order tacos. I wanted tacos so badly. And the restaurant could not guarantee that they could make celiac safe tacos, which thank you, because I didn't want to get sick. But I was really disappointed, and at this point in my diagnosis, my mental health was really poor, and I was really feeling so isolated. I remember sitting in this restaurant and thinking, I am so alone. And I am so hungry for a taco. But thankfully, I was served some delicious fajitas, and I also had this realization. I cannot be the only person who's trying to travel and eat gluten-free. So I decided I would start sharing and try to find other people just like me who are trying to travel and live life to the absolute fullest while still having autoimmune diseases or other allergies and diets that need to be accommodated. And Celiac Sarah Explores was born. I started posting on Instagram and TikTok in the summer of 2022 when we were traveling through Italy. I started sharing my favorite restaurants, what I ate in a day, my favorite gluten-free brands, and different tips and tricks. And I cannot wait to share more with you on YouTube and get into the nitty-gritty, get on a deeper level with you. My goal for this channel is to just continue to share really genuine and realistic tips for traveling with celiac disease and maybe inspire you to travel somewhere new that you didn't know before. And above all else, just to embrace your diagnosis and what you're going through and live your most authentic life. When I was first diagnosed with celiac disease, I went through a really rough patch. I was mourning my past life and thinking that I couldn't do things that I loved, like traveling. I thought it was over for me. I thought I could never eat pasta in Italy or travel to Southeast Asia, but spoiler alert, it is possible. Since my diagnosis, I've actually visited 21 countries. If you told me that at the beginning of my diagnosis, I probably wouldn't have believed you. I've actually eaten pasta and pizza in Italy, gluten-free of course, and I've traveled to Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. So I'm here to tell you that it is possible, and I cannot wait to share more details of all those trips and more future trips here. I have no plans on stopping travel anytime soon. If anything, I'm gonna continue to travel even more. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have just 2 seconds, if you could click like and subscribe and turn notifications on if you wanna hang out with me more and see new videos about gluten-free travel every week, I'd love to have you here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.